In August of 2010, beneath the vast and merciless desert of northern Chile, 33 ordinary men descended into the depths of the earth, unaware that they were about to become part of one of the greatest survival stories ever recorded in human history. They were miners, fathers, sons, husbands, brothers, friends, men who woke before sunrise every day to face darkness, dust, danger, and exhaustion, all to provide for their families. The San Jose mine was old, unstable, and notorious for its risks, but work was scarce, and survival left them with few choices. That morning felt no different from any other. The machines roared, the drills cut through stone, and sweat soaked their clothes. None of them imagined that in a matter of moments their lives would be suspended between hope and despair for the next 69 days. Suddenly, a deafening explosion thundered through the tunnels. The mountain trembled violently. Rocks crashed from above, filling the air with suffocating dust. Within seconds, a massive collapse sealed the main exit, trapping all 33 miners more than 700 meters underground. Darkness consumed them. Panic spread. The heat rose sharply, and oxygen became dangerously scarce. Their escape routes vanished, leaving them sealed inside a maze of stone and debris. Communication systems were destroyed. They were completely isolated from the world above. In that moment, many believed they would never see sunlight again. Above ground, families gathered at the entrance of the mine, waiting desperately for news. Rescue teams worked frantically, but the situation was grim. The mine's instability made drilling extremely dangerous. Each attempt risked triggering another collapse. Experts quietly admitted that survival was unlikely. Deep underground, survival had demanded extraordinary discipline. The miners had only a few days of emergency food. To stretch it, they divided tiny portions among themselves: a spoon of tuna, a sip of milk, a single cracker. Hunger gnawed constantly. Darkness never ended. Temperatures soared above 35 degrees Celsius. Humidity soaked their skin. The air was heavy. Sleep came in short, restless bursts. But instead of surrendering to fear, they chose order. They organized strict schedules. They created work shifts. They established cleaning routines. They exercised daily to preserve their strength. They gathered for prayer and reflection. In total isolation, they built a fragile society based on respect, discipline, and unity. Psychological survival was as critical as physical endurance. Some men battled panic attacks. Others struggled with despair and homesickness. Arguments flared but were quickly contained. They understood that conflict could destroy their fragile balance. Leadership emerged naturally. Words of encouragement became lifelines. Stories of loved ones kept hope alive. They reminded each other that their families were waiting, that their children needed them, that giving up was not an option. In the darkness, they created light through solidarity. Once communication was established, the rescue effort became one of the largest and most complex operations ever attempted. Engineers, doctors, psychologists, and drilling specialists from around the world joined forces. 3 separate drilling plans were launched simultaneously, each one racing against time. Every meter drilled was met with tension. Every mechanical failure brought crushing disappointment. Above ground, families lived in a fragile state between hope and fear. Cameras broadcast their anguish and resilience to millions. The world stopped to watch. Inside the mine, supplies finally arrived through narrow tubes. Food improved. Medical equipment was delivered. Messages from loved ones reached the men for the first time. Tears flowed freely, strength returned, faith deepened, but the wait was agonizing. Days blurred together, weeks passed slowly. Each man wrestled with his own doubts, wondering if the rescue would arrive in time. Yet hope never died. After 69 endless days, the final drill broke through. A narrow steel capsule named Phoenix, symbolizing rebirth, descended into the depths. One by one, the miners entered the capsule and began their ascent toward the surface. The journey lasted nearly 20 minutes per man. Families held their breath. Medics stood ready. The world watched in silence. When the first miner emerged, cheers erupted. Tears streamed. Embraces lasted minutes. As each man surfaced, emotions overwhelmed even the strongest hearts. When the final miner reached daylight, history had been written. All 33 men had survived. Against impossible odds, against nature, against despair. It was a moment that transcended borders, cultures, and beliefs. Humanity had witnessed a miracle. Yet the true power of this story lies not only in survival, but in what it reveals about the human spirit. In darkness, they found unity. In fear, they discovered courage. In hunger, they practiced discipline. In despair, they chose hope. They proved that when individuals stand together, even the deepest tunnels can be conquered. Life often traps us in invisible mines, moments of loss, failure, uncertainty, and emotional collapse. We face our own darkness. We battle fear, doubt, and exhaustion. But the story of the 33 Chilean miners reminds us that no matter how deep the tunnel, there is always a path forward. As long as we hold on to hope, as long as we stand together, and as long as we refuse to surrender, light will eventually return. Because no darkness is eternal, no night lasts forever, and no human spirit is truly breakable.